Flash. When the mind with the higher conscious level sees that there is a problem, we call that the advanced mind, the second intelligence, or the analytic intelligence. The mind senses the problem even before the religion can form with a solution. How will the diabolical problem be solved? How will the separation and the division problem be solved? After the ascertainment, the mind itself will attempt to solve the problem with rationality. That is called the reason. The mind will try to solve the problem by cause and effect. The mind will say to itself, each cause has an effect. But immediately it will find out that there is another problem because it cannot solve the first cause. From there, the philosophers will start to ask infinite questions. They can't find the cause of the first effect. If I ask, who brought my mom into the earth? You would say, my grandmother. And you will continue to go back until you come to the point where you don't have an answer anymore. In the beginning, it's easy. Who brought you? Who brought your mom? Who brought your grandma? And then you will stop somewhere. There will be no result from that kind of approach. The mind has another problem with the intellect because its perception is limited with the second level of intelligence, which is also called analytic. To analyze something, the mind must cut it into pieces. Reality is always a whole, one piece. The reality cannot be divided. Part of the reality is not the reality. When I use my analytic capacity, I cannot solve a problem. Like in the medical field, they need to cut and divide the body into multiple studies. The eyes, throat, bones, etc. They all analyze life, but there is no life in several pieces. Life is a whole. If I cut someone's arm, for a brief moment the arm will still be alive, but after a certain amount of time it will rot. If I cut a branch from a tree, it will look alive for a minute or two. After that, it would fade away. To be alive, whatever it is must be connected to the source. Now, religions come up with what? They offer a third level of knowledge or intelligence they call Cyclops in the Greek mythology. In Christianity, they will call it the Son of Man, Lamnos. How does it work? It works for everybody. Let's say you have something bothering you. You stayed up all night, thinking about how you could solve the problem. Suddenly, you have an idea out of nowhere. It strikes like a flash. The answer is there. The problem is solved. This is why they call it Cyclops, which means flash. This is the third level of knowledge. They will call it Lamnos. Plato will call it the world of ideas. Middle Easterns will call it the presence, the now. The philosopher Spinoza will call it the third mode of knowledge. Nietzsche will call it the superior man. Everybody will give it a different name because they don't really know what it is and where it comes from. It is a flash, a sudden thought, and the problem is solved.